This one is on Sunday. West Ham are home against Chelsea. We saw West Ham give up 2 points. They had a win at Bournemouth. They gave up a goal in a pretty even match, I'd say. West Ham are home against Chelsea. I actually threw Moises Caicedo into the starting 11. I decided I gave him the call over Conor Gallagher. He was signed early in the week, so I think he's going to be fine. But also, this is Thursday morning that we're talking. Reece James, rumored to, maybe not even a rumor, but said to pick up some kind of hamstring injury. Doesn't seem like he's going to be ready here. I got Axel Disasi playing kind of as a right back here. We'll see how they line up. They were at 3-4-3 in the opener against Liverpool. I think they're going to kind of change that up to a 4-2-3-1, which is kind of Pochettino's preferred formation. West Ham, they added James Ward-Prowse. We could see him in the starting 11. Edson Alvarez, they added him more than a week ago. He could be in there as well. So there could be some changes. Paqueta, he's still in conversations to join Manchester City as of Thursday. We don't really have a ton of information there. So there's a lot of toss-ups here in terms of the lineup, just because these teams have been adding players, have been in rumors. So those are the main questions, I'd say. But we got West Ham plus 270 to win at home. Chelsea are plus 100. Draw is plus 260. Over 2.5 goals minus 110. Under 2.5 goals minus 115. So what do you think here? I mean, I mentioned all the possibilities with the lineup. Just, I mean, how big of a factor is it, you think, here? Because, I mean, we do have like Ward-Prowse and Caicedo. You figure those guys could be starting pretty much every match for these teams the rest of the way. So,
Yeah, super good addition to get James Ward-Prowse for West Ham, especially if Paquetá is going to go to Man City. Yeah, I mean, that Caicedo, Chelsea just spend more money. They get more players. Caicedo is obviously a huge, huge addition for them in the midfield. Comes at a pretty big price and will definitely, I mean, he's probably, now that Conte is gone, just going to be in that engine room. Every time he's healthy, he's in that starting 11. So that's a huge get for him. It was super impressive with Brighton last season. A little bit worried about Reece James picking up that injury. I mean, I thought that Poch said that he was tired at the end of whatever 80 minutes, so they took him off. But it kind of looked like, I mean, watching the game, it looked like an injury.
yeah,
I think for anyone who with the open eyes, I don't know if that's just some manager speak, but he would cut
it
you in.
seems like manager speak now that what we know for
Yeah,
the last 4 days here.
yeah. So they did bring on is it Gusto? I think he's a
Yeah.
new addition to them in the offseason,
He
and he
was
looked
he
pretty
was
good.
on loan. He was one of those young guys who was on
Okay.
loan, maybe at Lille, I think, last season.
Okay. Well, he looked good, in his short amount of time. So obviously, Reece James is one of the best outside backs in the Premier League, if
Sorry,
not the best.
Lyon. I don't want the French to get mad at me. Lyon. He did not go to Lille. He was at
Lyon.
Lyon. Okay.
Okay, good to know. But yeah, so he looked good as a substitute. Obviously, held up well. I think they brought off Salah around that time too, and brought on Ben Doak, so a little bit different quality. But Chelsea looked like they should have won that game, and this come from a Liverpool fan. So I don't see a reason why they can't go to West Ham. West Ham obviously probably David Moyes is gonna have them pretty locked in playing probably a defensive brand of ball, but I think Chelsea, they got all the quality in the world. I thought they looked really good against Liverpool. They started a little slow in the first half, but they pretty much dominated from about 20 minutes on. They were unlucky that Chilwell goal got called off. They were lucky not to get that, and even dominated. I think from a possession standpoint, they had huge possession numbers over Liverpool, and really looked like they could have came away with all three against what I would deem a more quality opponent than West Ham is. I think that's probably fair to say. So, for all those reasons, I am excited to see James Ward-Prowse back in the Prem. It was a shame Southampton went down. He's a quality player. But yeah, I think Chelsea can go in here and win this. Unbeaten in their last three. Both of those wins did come at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea, and they drew. I believe it was maybe. I think they drew last season in the same fixture. It was 1-1 back in February. So other than that, I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb here for the money line bet at plus 100, getting even odds. I think Chelsea, you put in a destroyer like Caicedo who can just win the ball back, get it to your quality strikers and attackers up front, and keep cycling. I think that's a pretty good strategy, especially against a team like West Ham. We're probably just going to thump it long.
Yeah, that's kind of what my bet goes out with. Under 2.5 goals is -115. Kind of just backing off what Chris said here, but I'll also say that while Chelsea had a lot of great opportunities in their last match, it seems like they had great opportunities in a lot of games last season and couldn't score. I don't want to say Nicholas Jackson has the typical Chelsea forward stink on him, but he did have an
Look good.
opportunity that he absolutely blasted over net. Um, so I still worry. Maybe not worry is the correct term. I am wearing a Chelsea kit though, so I guess. But Chelsea in general, I'm still not sold on taking their overs or on betting them to win away from home, just because we haven't seen them with these players just score consistently, like with Raheem Sterling, with Mudryk, with these guys that can they convert their chances? We know that they can play well. Throwing Caicedo in, we know how they play. We know that they're a solid team here, but can they actually convert their chances? That's what we'll see here. As for West Ham, we talked about a little bit about West Ham in our future show, but for the most part here, while they're losing some players, for the most part, you look at their back line. This is, the solid back line that's been here. Emerson's taken over from Cresswell. Soufal's been there for a few years. And then you got Aguerd, who took over the starting job once he was healthy last season. Areola seems like he's the guy over Fabianski, and then Zuma. So they got a pretty solid back line. And I think it's going to be, sure, Chelsea may have 65-70% possession, but I think it's going to be pretty tight. And I would say 2-1 is in play for either side, but I almost went with an exact 1-1 bet here. But instead, I'm not going to go as bold here, under 2.5 goals at -115. Again, Chris has Chelsea money line +100. So, yeah, I mean, what scoreline are you thinking here? Are you thinking like a 1-0, 2-0, or a 2-1 kind of thing
Yeah,
then
I'm
with
thinking
this
like
Chelsea money
I would
line?
another bet. Yeah, another bet I consider for this one was like a no on both teams to score. This seems like maybe West Ham have trouble scoring.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was kind of the other one I thought about. But I just like good old money line bet, no frills about it. I do think Chelsea can come away with this in Brighton, or excuse me, West Ham. Will be interesting to see what they put out there, and especially looking forward to seeing whether James Ward-Prowse, he should be in the starting 11. I think he arrived, was it middle of last week, and has had a whole
Yeah.
week of training. He played for Southampton anyways in the
Mhm.
championship the week before, so no problems with fitness. And then Caicedo, he's had a whole week too, so I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the starting 11. Reece James, big question mark. Hopefully he makes it, and I think, looking at the match last week, Ben Chilwell was probably the most impressive player on the field for me. So looking for some big stuff from him too.
Yeah, again, that formation will be interesting because Chilwell played as, wing back instead of a left back. They add Caicedo, maybe that kind of changes the formation kind of a thing. So that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, they did play with three center backs against Liverpool, and it just kind of felt like that. You look at their prior matches in the preseason, Chelsea played a lot of the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. And I was like, okay, we're going to go 3-4-3. And the three center backs, it didn't seem like they were all on the same page there. I think that was the issue on the goal allowed there to Diaz. He got in there
Yeah.
behind one of the center backs. So I wonder if they move from the three center backs to a four-man back line. Something to keep an eye on. I'm not sure how much that matters in terms of betting, but just something to keep in